Hey guys, so welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about why I do not attend the new mass. Now,
You know, I've
here
seen
we are
more
in
fights
Weatherwood,
than I
so
can
we're going to
count.
walk around and explore
That
the
said,
area today.
all
But
fights
yeah,
are
we're going to
fair.
talk about why I don't attend the new post-Vatican II mass. Now, this is going to surprise a lot of people when I say this. The new mass is one of my least concerns. And of all the issues with the new mass, the use of vernacular English is one of the least concerns because as a traditional Catholic, whenever I hear whenever I hear concerns or apologetics against my position, they always, 100% of the time, it's all about liturgy. Liturgy is actually one of my least concerns as a traditional Catholic. It's a concern, a grave concern, but it's one things I am least upset about, I suppose you could say. Now, basically, what Novus Ordo arguments against the new against the traditionalist position are essentially the Pope is allowed to change liturgy. Wow, the Vatican II Mass, the Mass of even the traditional Mass is not word for word from the first century. Has actually
Oh
like they
no,
added the
I
Agnus
worked a
Dei in
bit
there.
as a
Oh,
sales
imagine that! How
supervisor.
shocking.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, I was aware of
Probably
that.
never get it.
I'm not pretending that that's the case, but they use these arguments from authority. So notably, paragraph 58 of Mediator Day, it says it belongs to the Pope alone to introduce new rites of worship or change liturgy. And from that, they seem to gather that they can change or adapt the liturgy in any way they darn well please. That is not the case if you look at the text itself. So if you look at the text of Mediator Day, it is in the starting paragraphs. It mentions the following. Notably, the reason this is done is to prevent great, extensive variations of worship for heretics to stick their nose in. This is no longer the case after Vatican II. Like you have extreme variations of the Roman Rite. Even if you don't like the Church Mass, just about everything else seems to be allowed on allowances of priests, allowance of discretion in practice. Even Vatican II, its constitutional liturgy, says that priests, out of their own authority, may not change the liturgy, which, let's be honest, I've seen happen all the time. Now, so so also there is a lot of variation that is de facto allowed. So if laity and priests are allowed to do that, well, if we're allowed in discussion, we're allowed in the discussion. We have to ask seriously, why are these changes being brought in? Whether from the Holy See, since this seems to be now up for discussion, right? It's up for discussion, but we have to ask why. But as you can see from the decree of Mediator Day, it's the reason the reason the Pope is in charge of liturgy and it's reserved to him to change things is not, oh, Pope is wonderful, must obey Pope. No, it's meant to be a preventative against heresy. It is not done for its own sake. That is why many Eastern Rite churches have, for the most part, control over their own liturgy, and have always had control over their own liturgy. So,
Here for work?
like to buy some lumber?
Get doing some building, eh? We can deliver it wherever you need.
Take 200.
I'll have them hauled over right away.
Yeah, let's explore some wood in the area. Here's my brother-in-law's place. Let's go explore. But yeah, let's look at some of the changes that have been brought about in liturgy. So there's verse popular masses. There are verse popular masses. Which by the way, isn't necessarily required in Vatican II. You can technically do the new mass ad orantum, even strictly speaking. You can. You are allowed to do that. Also, communion in the hand, which again is considered an optional thing, but it has de facto become the norm. Why? Because it's time unity. But why that? So you have all these practices that seem to shove the tabernacle off the side at the will of the bishop, at the will of the local ordinary, and let's be honest, we all know there's heresy in the church today. Anyone who doesn't have their head completely in the sand is aware of that. So why do we have all these liturgical practices where Jesus as the tabernacle and the Blessed Sacrament is shoved literally out to the side? Oh, so people can have a private place to go for the Blessed Sacrament. Yeah, you know what's a good place to do that is the church. And also, if that's the case, why not just have a perpetual adoration or semi-perpetual adoration chapel off to the side instead? What happens is that people cannot find the tabernacle in practice easily, and I think that's common sense. And even then, and also ask the question: why shove the tabernacle off to the side? Well, why shove Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament? Because as Catholics, we believe Jesus' presence blessed the sacrament off to the side. Why do we do communion in the hand? To show unity, to show that we are receiving Christ. Because mentioned among the church fathers, it was done in some places. Okay, yeah, but why do they do it that way? They did it. I think on my other YouTube channel I mentioned this. They did it to enable certain devotional practices of sanctifying the senses. They did it in a context of strict, very strict exclusivity. Like, you were not even allowed in the church. You were not allowed inside the church when that happened.
Welcome. Let me know if you want anything.
Advar?
Ever get the impression Rika's not always sure what side she's on? I'm not doubting her loyalty, just she seems rather sympathetic to the rebels.
Yeah, she still worships Talos. Yeah. Yeah, like, so all these changes in the liturgy that have happened, like, what I'm getting at is, okay, it's usually, whenever you hear arguments against the trap position, it's usually gaslighting of, oh, Pope's allowed to change authority. It has the authority to change things. Yeah, my question is, however, the reason that he can change, that he's allowed to do that, and that it's reserved him, is to prevent other people from, changing things willy-nilly.
Let's just get this over with. My head... Sure thing, friend. What do you need doing? What's on your mind? All right, got it. All right, got it. All right, got it. Nothing else? Let's get going then. After you.
Yeah, but like, the reason that the Pope is allowed to change the liturgy is to prevent other people from doing it, prevent other people, heretics, from going in, from coming in, be they bishops, be they priests, be they lay people, from altering things. Who else is going to change a liturgy other than a cleric? So it's literally prescription against heretical clerics. So people are essentially taking the argument, oh, Pope can change the liturgy, out of its context, and it's, regardless of what the new mass is or it is not, it's supposed to be ideally. The fact of the matter is, on the ground, it is enabling vulgar use of tongues, which Pius XII and that decree said was allowed with permission from the Holy See, but with extreme caution. Even Vatican II, I might add, said in his decree on the liturgy, said that Latin is to be retained as the language of the church and liturgy. That has not happened. So you can't say, oh, Vatican II. Vatican II says keep the Latin. But yeah, this is not even getting into details with the traditional Latin Mass. This is just pointing out that the reason why popes like control liturgy is not to do whatever they can do whatever they want. It is to prevent heresy from springing in, and that the lifting of papal authority over the liturgy has de facto already happened, in both in practice and in many cases legalistically speaking under canon law. So Lady R now could be involved in that, in these questions, at least according to Vatican II, it still would seem. At least to discuss what's on the table, what is and is not allowed in the liturgy, to some extent, hence like charismatic masses, etc. Windows House, yeah, I'm allowed in here.
My parents.
But it just goes to show that it's gaslighting. Whenever the decree of the authority of Pope is mentioned to traditional Catholics, so it can change the liturgy. It's gaslighting them. It's used to answer questions. Okay, why did he change it? Change it. What does this change mean? Why is this allowed now? What does this reflect? And why exactly is communion in the hand allowed now? These are the questions we're asking because, let's be honest, my main problem with with Vatican II is the heresy seems to be roaming rampant. I don't care what you just think about whether or not Vatican did or did not do it. It's certainly its name is certainly being used to promote heresy. Do we have censor buds? Deny the exclusivity. It's used to deny the need for the Catholic faith to be saved. It's being used to minimize the presence of Jesus' blessed and blessed sacrament, certainly with communion on the hand. Certainly to minimize reverence towards it. Why is this happening? Why is this being done? And it is a fair question. Pope can change the liturgy, sure. But the reason that's done, and let's keep that in mind, is to protect against heresy. And that's not happening. That's just not happening. And that's the problem. Anyway, guys, God bless. Hope you've enjoyed this little walk around Riverwood. It's a very small village. Definitely love Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. I love my Catholic faith. So anyway, those are just my thoughts on why I support the traditional Mass and not the new Mass. Because, let's be honest, there's more emphasis on reverence to the Blessed Sacrament, more reference to liturgy itself, on the importance of the See of Rome. And by the way, I know with any trad Cath who doesn't believe you need to respect the Pope, at least in principle. It's only because we have all these things going on, and we have questions. What the fudge is going on here in the church, and why are all these things going on in the liturgy, the Mass, that seems to be minimizing reverence to the Blessed Sacrament? Why are these bishops allowed to mutilate the liturgy in such a way? Why are these things even on the table that they can minimize the faith with public worship? Anyway, just some of my thoughts on gaslighting.
I don't know how those lords manage it.
Anyway, God bless, guys. Check on us at Fixed Church if you ever get the chance.